My aunt murdered my parents for their wealth and had me drugged to silence me, but I gathered proof until she was arrested. Now, released from prison, she's demanding her portion of my trust fund. My uncles always warned me not to let success inflate my ego, a lesson my parents embodied fully. My dad launched a tech startup in our garage that skyrocketed, turning our family wealthy almost instantly, yet we lived modestly. My parents feared I'd grow up spoiled, thinking money defined me, so they kept life simple. My wardrobe was all thrift store finds or clearance rack deals, and I was never allowed the latest gadgets. We drove an old, rattling car that groaned oddly. Our cat, Shadow, ate budget kibble from the supermarket. For years, I resented it. I'd sneakily watch holiday haul videos online where girls flaunted lavish gifts, yearning to do the same. At school, I'd see classmates in designer outfits with luxury bags, and envy hit me like a gut punch. But everything shifted when I was 16. During math class, my friend Emily walked in wearing a cute but obviously used coat. A wealthy girl, Chloe, sitting up front, turned to her friend and loudly sneered, "If my family couldn't afford new clothes, I'd just disappear." Their laughter echoed, and in that moment I understood my parents' wisdom, feeling grateful. Noticing I stopped griping about money, they surprised me with an extra vacation that year. That's when we planned to visit my mom's sister, Vanessa. Vanessa was my parents' polar opposite. She reeked of expensive perfume, wore dazzling diamond earrings, and drove a sleek red convertible that screamed Hollywood. We rarely saw her, but she insisted we join her on her boat for a day. Standing on the dock, I felt out of place. Her boat was massive, practically a yacht, with glossy wood decks and plush seats. Vanessa greeted us in a designer swimsuit and pricey flip-flops that likely cost more than our car. My family stood there in faded, store-brand swimsuits. By late afternoon, a sudden storm hit. Dark clouds loomed and the captain steered back to shore. The waves grew rough and I got horribly seasick, retreating to a cabin below deck to rest. When we docked, I rushed to find my parents, eager to joke about the wild storm, but they were nowhere. Vanessa stood there, her face a mask of fake sorrow, dabbing dry eyes with a tissue. "They're gone," she declared dramatically. My chest tightened, air vanishing. She claimed huge waves swept them overboard, unnoticed until too late. I collapsed on the dock. Vanessa summoned someone to usher me into her car, and her driver took me to her cold, sprawling mansion. I wanted to wear a plain green dress my mom got me for my birthday, still carrying her scent. But my closet was empty. "You're a rich girl now. Dress like it," Vanessa said icily, handing me a gaudy, sequined gown that felt alien. All I had left was Shadow. At night, when tears came, he'd leap onto my bed, purring, nuzzling my face. He was my only comfort, the only one I felt safe around. Whenever Vanessa saw me sad, she'd thrust a gift at me. Each present was pricier than the last. A luxury bag, the latest phone, high-end earbuds. Her spending to buy my joy made me feel guilty for showing pain around her. Shadow became my anchor. Each night, I'd sit on my ornate new bed, hollow inside, and he'd curl up in my lap, rubbing his face against mine until I nearly smiled. His amber eyes, pleading for playtime, were the only reason I got up on weekends. Being a light sleeper, I'd gently set him outside my room and shut the door before bed. One Sunday noon, I searched for him after a morning of scrolling and sobbing. He was gone. Vanessa entered the living room with a pet carrier, but inside wasn't Shadow. It was a tiny white dog with a blue ribbon. "I got rid of that scruffy cat that annoyed you," she said, smiling. "Meet Duchess." I thought it was a cruel prank, but she opened the carrier, urging me to pet the dog. I fled to my room, staring at the expensive, useless items around me, searching for a reason to keep going. Then I heard Vanessa on the phone downstairs, her voice louder than usual. Curiosity pulled me to crack open my door. "Of course I had to eliminate them," she said confidently, raising her like that was practically abuse. No child should live like they're broke. My body froze. It was deliberate. I tiptoed downstairs, heart hammering as Vanessa's voice carried. "The sedatives in their champagne worked flawlessly," she said, and I clamped my hand over my mouth to stifle a gasp. "Victor said they didn't even know what hit them before they went over." My legs wobbled as she laughed at something the other person said. I slid down the wall, listening, barefoot on the cold floor, realizing my phone was dead. "Darling, is that you?" Vanessa's voice was suddenly close. I scrambled to the bathroom, flushing the toilet and running the sink to cover my tracks. When I opened the door, Vanessa stood in the hall, phone gone. "Dinner's ready," she said, eyeing me. Her gaze flicked to the bathroom door, checking it was shut. At dinner, she served an extravagant meal, my stomach twisting as she set a plate before me. She sliced her steak, saying, "I've filed for temporary custody with family court. The emergency hearing's in 3 days. Standard for orphan minors." She pulled court papers from her designer bag. The summons was dated the day after my parents' deaths. She'd planned it all. I pushed food around my plate, appetite gone. "I need to call my parents' attorney." "Of course, dear," Vanessa replied, her smile hollow. "Though he's on vacation for 2 weeks, I checked." I excused myself and ran to the neighbors, the Wilsons. Mrs. Wilson opened the door in her robe, startled. "Please, I need help," I began, but Vanessa appeared. "So sorry to disturb you," she said, crocodile tears flowing. "She's in shock, saying awful things. The grief counselor warned me." Mrs. Wilson's concern turned to pity. She patted my arm as Vanessa led me back. In my room, I locked the door and emailed my parents' lawyer from my laptop. An auto-reply confirmed his absence. His emergency line went to voicemail. A soft knock came. "Darling, I left your mom's sleeping pills outside if you need rest. The doctor said too if you're struggling." After her footsteps faded, I found a prescription bottle. The label had my mom's name, but something felt wrong. I Googled the drug. They weren't sleeping pills. They were antipsychotics causing memory loss and confusion, dated 2 months before my parents' deaths. At 2 a.m., I climbed out my window, aiming for the Wilsons' landline. But Vanessa's red car was in their driveway. She was still there, spinning lies about my sanity. I climbed back in and barely slept. Next morning, Vanessa served breakfast with her fake smile. "I've booked grief counseling for you," she said, pouring juice. "It's required for custody. Dr. Keller is top-notch." The doorbell rang. I hoped for rescue, but Vanessa answered first. Through the window, I saw Officer Thompson. My heart soared. My online tip must have worked. "I'm here about a concerning report," he said. Vanessa feigned worry, producing a folder with death certificates, custody papers, and medical records. "She's been saying wild things since the accident. The trauma's too much." While she distracted him, I slipped into her office, finding my mom's planner. An entry from the week before their deaths read, "PI investigating frozen accounts. Meeting Tuesday." They died Monday. "There you are." Vanessa's voice startled me. The officer was gone. "Time for counseling. Dr. Keller specializes in trauma-driven paranoia." At Dr. Keller's, he scribbled notes before I spoke. Over his shoulder, I read, "Displays paranoid beliefs about guardian." I stayed silent, but he wrote pages noting selective mutism and defiant behavior. Leaving, Vanessa tucked a receipt away. She'd prepaid for 10 sessions. At the grocery store, while she inspected produce, I scrawled, "Help! She killed my parents," and tried passing it to the cashier. Vanessa snatched it, saying, "Grief makes kids act out," crumpling the note as she dragged me out. That night, my phone pinged with a text from Emily asking to visit. Vanessa grabbed it, typing, "You need to heal, not have visitors." The guardianship hearing came fast. In court, Vanessa played the caring aunt perfectly. When I spoke, I blurted, "I heard her say she used sedatives in their wine." The judge, unmoved, asked for proof. I had none. Vanessa's lawyer interjected, "She's suffering trauma-induced delusions." The judge reviewed Dr. Keller's notes, police reports, and neighbor statements, citing Vanessa's charity work, and granted her 90-day custody. Next day, my teacher, Miss Rivera, called about my absences. Vanessa answered, "I'm enrolling her in therapeutic homeschooling for specialized care." While Vanessa showered, I called the PI from my mom's planner. "Your mom was right about the insurance policies," he said. "I have proof, but it costs $5,000 to release. Your aunt has powerful lawyers." Vanessa's shower stopped. I hung up. Days later, I saw she'd printed my emails and texts, claiming it was for my safety. Her printer history showed she'd monitored me since before my parents' deaths. A woman arrived, introduced as my tutor but wearing medical scrubs, a health aide spying on me. My friend Ethan tried visiting, but Vanessa threatened to report his underage drinking to college recruiters. He left silently. At night, I used Vanessa's laptop to email the PI, agreeing to pay from my savings. Her browser history showed yacht rental searches 3 months before the deaths. The bank called about my account activity. Vanessa had frozen it. Furious, I smashed her laptop. She walked in, smiling. "I'll document this outburst for the permanent custody filing." Next evening, a man named Victor arrived with a medical bag, introduced as Vanessa's grief support partner, moving in to watch me. His cold eyes followed me constantly, his locked bag always close. That night, his footsteps paused outside my door hourly, preventing sleep. I woke groggy, losing 12 hours. Vanessa said I'd had a breakdown, showing footage of me talking to no one, clawing my hair, trying to escape windows, none of which I recalled. She installed cameras everywhere, claiming protection, viewable from her phone. Privacy vanished. Mrs. Wilson brought cookies, concerned, but Vanessa showed edited footage. Mrs. Wilson left, avoiding my gaze. Searching my mom's jewelry box, I found a hidden recorder with files dated before the yacht trip. They captured Vanessa discussing the trust issue with Victor, but static ruined most, making them useless legally. Desperate, I stole Vanessa's car keys while she napped. At the police station, the detective listened, but said the recordings weren't enough. He urged finding a lawyer, knowing Vanessa had tainted that option. Back home, Emily's parents arrived for an intervention about my delusions. Vanessa had convinced them I was unstable. I shouted the truth, but it fueled their pity. Emily mouthed, "I believe you," as they left. Vanessa filed for permanent custody, citing my mental crisis. Dr. Keller upped sessions, noting my conspiracy obsession. He showed me a treatment center brochure with my name pre-filled. My friend Olivia, now a paralegal, visited secretly, bringing custody law books. We whispered strategies until Vanessa returned, threatening Olivia's career. Olivia left, apologetic. I photographed Vanessa's planner, showing a marina meeting with Victor the morning my parents died. The PI revealed Vanessa took life insurance policies on them 2 years prior, payable only for accidental death. Vanessa showed me my mom's emails about her instability, proving she knew my moves. She'd planned for years, even noting inheritance plans in my baby book. Ethan's dad offered legal help but backed off after Vanessa showed him a dossier. The family lawyer returned, but Vanessa had forged power of attorney papers. I photographed her files, forged signatures, financial records, letters, uploading them to cloud storage at the library. Vanessa and Victor tracked me via my phone, escorting me home. Victor, now my full-time watcher, hinted at his psychiatric ward experience. I wondered what he put in my food. Emily snuck in, crying about her parents' divorce over my situation. Victor caught us, sedating me. Emily hid, escaping. Vanessa filed a break-in report, getting a restraining order against Emily. I went on a hunger strike. After 3 days, Victor force-fed me while Vanessa recorded my eating disorder. She admitted her gambling debts drove her to kill my parents, who'd offered rehab but no money. I overdosed on the antipsychotics for hospitalization, telling nurses about the drugging. Vanessa produced papers painting me as self-harming. Olivia, disguised as a hospital volunteer, said the PI would testify if paid, despite threats to his license. Chloe, the girl who mocked Emily, agreed to fund him if I publicly called my parents obsessive misers who caused their deaths. I agreed, hating myself. In the hospital, I crashed Vanessa's car during transport, injuring Victor. I ran to the police, but Vanessa's lawyers arrived with commitment papers signed by Victor's old classmate. Emily's dad, now separated, offered limited help. The PI admitted working for Vanessa first. Using Victor's phone, I found her cloud storage with yacht agreements and a manifesto about punishing stingy wealthy families. She'd tested sedatives on my grandmother, whose heart attack was murder. Realizing I had to stay alive but incapacitated for Vanessa to inherit, I swallowed a USB drive with evidence. I called Olivia for an emergency injunction, risking her career. Vanessa countered with my search history, faked during my sedation. She ruined my allies, Emily's family, Olivia, the PI, the social worker. At the hearing, Vanessa's lawyer presented my instability, the laptop, the car theft. A fire alarm, pulled by Emily, caused chaos. I gave the USB to the clerk, containing yacht rental proof and sedative receipts. The judge reviewed it, finding Claire's rehearsals. Her lawyer argued illegal evidence and my unreliability. The judge offered a deal: an independent guardian with 6 months of psychiatric treatment, or Vanessa gets permanent custody. I signed, using my mom's gift pen. Vanessa got 5 years for fraud, not murder, eligible for parole in 2. Catherine Lee, a social worker, became my guardian, controlling my finances until 21. My friendships suffered. Emily's family blamed me. Ethan avoided me. I moved into a shared apartment, attending therapy thrice weekly. The PI's report showed my parents suspected Vanessa, keeping her close to watch her. They'd planned to confront her post-yacht trip. At their graves, with my service dog Luna, I realized Vanessa's worst crime was turning me into someone my parents wouldn't recognize. The inheritance, mine in 3 years, felt tainted. Luna grounded me. Tomorrow, another therapy session, another supervised day, another step toward a future my parents would never see.